All right, update on the hoop house build here in Texas. CNS Organics. Please like and share, subscribe, leave me comments. It rained all day yesterday and it rained half the day today, so I picked up all the material to do the footboards, kickboards, whatever you want to call them, and the hip boards, and also the ridge line or ridge pole. So I've got 1.25 PVC. You can see they're strung down all the way through the middle. It's all glued and screwed together with stainless steel screws. All I got to do is pick it up and put it up in the air and bolt it in. I've got carriage bolts to where the head's smooth. I'll come back and put a piece of tape over that head so it doesn't take a chance of ripping the plastic in any way. Had the boards kind of laid out. Like I said, it rained most all weekend, so I didn't get as much done as I wanted. We've got this side here left to do as far as the kickboards and the hip board. This side over here, we've got the kickboard in all the way down, as well as the hip board. Let me get in here. It's getting late, getting cold. I did put this 2x4 just temporarily, just to kind of hold everything fairly square here on the end. I'll show you how I attach these. I just use a PVC clamp over in the plumbing section, and I screwed that in both down there and down there. So this is 1.25 inches at the bottom, 1.25 PVC. So I got the 1.25 inch clamps there. And then my poles, like I said before, are 1 inch PVC. And I got the 1 inch clamps there. Each one of my connections between the 1x4s, I just cut a little 1 foot piece and popped it in there to give it some added support. The same at the bottom, but I used 2x4s because it was all 2x4. Now it's kind of hard to see. There's a screw down in there. Here's a better one to see. I just threw a deck screw in there to hold that bottom to where everything that's in the ground is tied together with that footboard. And then the hip board coming across, like I said, I put it at 5 foot. So in reality, the plastic or shade cloth, whichever, depending on the season, is going to come down to this point, and then from this point down, I'll be able to roll it up and down. So there will be the wiggle wire tracks across the hoops on each end, that far end, the one behind me, and also the wiggle wire tracks along this hip board all the way down. And I know if you get a perfect shot looking down at it, it's not perfectly flat and all. This is a 1x4. 1x4 is not very rigid. It's once I get the other side done and the pole up top, I may make some small adjustments. But what I want to show you there is that even though I've screwed all these in, it's just screws. There's no nails or anything that's going to be too much. I mean, each board's got 2 screws. So if I got to make an adjustment, there's not a whole lot I got to do. And if, let's just say, part of the design I thought about is, I know some people use rebar and put it in the ground and then put their pipes on there, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff up front you can do to make sure that everything is perfectly level. I didn't do the groundwork like a lot of people do. But anyways, what I can do, okay, by having the 1.25 inch PVC in the ground, if I needed this hoop for whatever reason, let's say, hey, it looks a little short. All right, well, I'm gonna end up putting screws, let me back up, through the 1.25 inch into this 1 inch. Right now, I don't know, I can do it one-handed, it's just slid in. So if I need to make an adjustment, I can actually slide this up or down, whichever side of whichever one that I need to adjust, and then put my screw in. So I am going to have screws through all of them, all stainless steel screws throughout every one of those connections between the inch and the 1.25 inch. But I have a little wiggle room on adjusting my hoops. So like I said, if this one here, I said, oh man, I don't like it's leaning or it's a little short, well, I can take the 2 screws out of the hip board. I can pull this guy out a little bit and screw it and make my adjustment here and screw those 2 screws back in, and there wasn't a whole lot of work I had to undo in order to do my adjustments. So yeah, in hindsight, if I would have, you know, spent the money and the time and everything to come out and survey or set up a P-level or something, or a transom, and get this guy perfectly level with the world, and then when I made my hoops, I had them all laid out with each other, because you know, these manufacturers of the PVC, there may be one that's, you know, 1/2 inch longer or a little bit shorter or whatever, so there's going to be a little bit of adjustment. Some of the couplings were old. I actually got them from a buddy for free, but they were a little bit thicker, and the center lip, I guess, where the 2 pieces of PVC would butt up against, was thicker than the new ones I bought. So there's a little bit of variance there. A little bit of variance in the links, a little bit of variance in the couplings. I glued everything, and I used a mallet to kind of make sure it was good and seated. I'm pretty sure all of those got good and seated, but if one didn't quite seat up a 1/4 inch, I mean, there's just a million different variables. And the plants really won't care. Biggest thing, the plants really don't give a damn about how square or if one hoop is a 1/2 inch or 1 inch longer. They just really won't care. So I will try to get it as square as possible, because I do care. I want to make sure that it's as square and looks nice and everything else. So anyways, that's about all I got done for the half day today. And hopefully next weekend we have a nice weekend and I can get the other side done, a ridge pole in, and then do some bracing similar to this, but obviously different than the way it is there, but something that you understand the angle, just to give support to each end, and to maybe start framing in these end hoops once I get all the footboards, the hip boards, the ridge pole in, and then I get my supports on each end, these little 45-degree supports in both ends. The structure itself is pretty much stable, and by adding the framing to the ends and making sure that they're good and sturdy and everything else, whenever I go to put the shade cloth or the plastic or whatnot, nothing's going to really move on me. So I do all my adjustments now. By it being so long, 18 foot wide by 80 foot long, it would be great to have a couple of buddies helping you out. I've been doing this project all by myself, which I enjoy. I'm not complaining, but it does take longer when you're doing the projects by yourself. And they look pretty good and square. But anyways, that is the update on the greenhouse here in Texas. Greenhouse, I mean hoop house, there's a little bit of a difference. Anyways, like I said before, please like, share, leave me a comment, let me know, ask me some questions. Hey, why didn't you do this or that, or what would be the best way to do something? And I may or may not know the answer, but I'll give it my best. There's your dog Buddy coming in to steal some camera time. So like and share. We'll see y'all later. Thanks, guys.